Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Andy Morris here along with Jim Gum. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys listening each and every day, be it on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, on the ESPN Cleveland app. Listen, we got people all over the place, YouTube, Facebook. One of my favorite things, Jim, is to be walking around in town and someone say, hey, I was listening to the show the other day. It's such a cool thing to be able to connect with people through that.
It is, man, and it's really cool, and we're so excited about the future of this radio station, all the various ways that you can listen to us. Hey, listen, if you don't catch us live, you can catch us, every show is recorded and everything, so you can listen to us anytime, and that way they can really critique us when we're really, really wrong. Nobody's going to say, hey, just want to congratulate you on what a great prediction you had. The only time you hear from people like that, they're like, yep. Yeah, you only got 2 out of the 5 games you picked. You guys don't know what you're talking about. I knew that.
Which I can appreciate because that holds us to a standard.
It does.
We've got to try to do better each and every week. And that's one thing as we get closer to football season especially. Going to have a lot of high school football coverage. Definitely a lot of high school football coverage.
Oh, gosh.
But every week right here on this show, we're going to have interviews with the Tennessee Titans, the Atlanta Falcons, the Tennessee Volunteers, the Georgia Bulldogs, and all 3 local high schools, Bradley, Cleveland, and Walker Valley. We're going to have their head football coaches on with us every single week throughout football season to recap the Friday night or
preview.
Or in week 1's case, the Thursday night before.
That's right.
And preview the next week's game. So you don't get any better insight than you do right here on The Drive when it comes to high school football, college football, in my opinion. We got that covered. Going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a second. And also NFL coverage.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we got 3 preseason games tonight. If you like the NFL, turn on the NFL Network, which, by the way, is now somewhat owned by ESPN, and the NFL owns a little bit of ESPN. So there's a little give and take going on there.
I'm glad you threw that out.
But we've got some NFL action if you like preseason games. And I'm listening. Preseason games, take them for what they're worth. Frankly, I think they shouldn't charge as much money to get into the games. For the most part, you're watching a lot of younger guys, half of them wanting to make the squad, but it's still NFL and it's still football. Listen, if you're a Braves fan, you're like, yeah, let's check out a little NFL tonight.
Might flip over to the preseason game.
It is what it is. I mean, you're having one of those rare down seasons in Atlanta, but doggone it. You got Ronald Acuna. He looks like he's coming back. So there's still some bright lights that come on there in Atlanta for the Braves to finish out the 2025 campaign. Not going to make the postseason, obviously, but it's something to hold on to. And I know you, as a Braves guy, you're sitting there going, okay, let's see if Acuna comes back and he finishes strong. Olsen finishes strong. Riley comes back, finishes strong. There's your core guys coming into next year. Profar, he looks like he may be a dude to reckon with next year.
There's some rumors Byron Buxton might be in the Braves' future, making a trade over the offseason.
With the Minnesota Twins. He's a Georgia kid, if I'm not mistaken.
He is from Georgia, and the correlation there, you mentioned Jurickson Profar. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who's previously been a second baseman, been a shortstop. He's played the middle infield. They would make him move back to middle infield with him, putting Byron Buxton in the outfield. I heard that take today, and it kind of made me raise an eyebrow and say, wait a minute, this might be a decent little idea here.
Well, and then you got the pitching staff who we all know what the capabilities are of these guys when they're healthy.
Got to go get another arm, though.
You got to get another arm. I still think you got to address the closer role. We'll see. It's a long off season. We'll be talking about that, but man, it's all about football. And you're talking about high school football, Andy. There is no station or group of stations that covers high school football like we do. Between Chattanooga and Knoxville, nobody.
No,
we are it, man.
You're exactly right. And I challenge any group of stations to cover as much high school football as we do, because if you do, then you're doing a good job, because we have got Bradley County, Cleveland, and really the entire region for both Bradley, Cleveland, and 6A, the region for 5A. We cover those teams in the area as well.
Yeah, Polk County, Ooltewah,
Exactly.
McMinn Central, McMinn County. So, yeah, we got it all covered here.
A couple things that you hit on. You're talking about NFL preseason. Tomorrow, right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, the Falcons versus the Lions, 6 p.m. will be right here on ESPN Cleveland. So that's great to be able to listen to some Falcons football already.
And Penix is going to be the guy, assuming that everything goes according to plan. He's had how many games did he start last year? About halfway through the season. So he finished out the 2024 campaign. 2020. This is his team. Now let's see what this guy can do. And I think the future's bright at the quarterback position for both the Falcons and the Titans. I really do.
It's Michael Penix's job to lose in Atlanta.
Job. And Cam Ward's, that's his job in Nashville as well. So I think the future's bright for the pro teams in Atlanta and Nashville. Obviously, the future's bright for Tennessee and Georgia. And you think about it, always in high school, really, we're very lucky, man, when it comes to the teams that we seem to cover the most. They all seem to have a positive outlook. Either you're building for the future, things are already strong, things are already bright. So it's going to be this is going to be a great football season around here.
Listen, guys, I don't know if you're getting fired up right now listening to what Jim's saying. He's firing me up, because I remembered I got to throw this out there, because we're less than an hour away over at Bradley High School. The Bears, yes, football Bears, Damon Floyd's boys, taking the field tonight, hosting Alcoa at 6 p.m. in a scrimmage. Tickets are $5. Season ticket holders, guess what? You're in luck. You're free. So just show up, let them know you're a season ticket holder, show your proof of season tickets, and you get to go watch two of the state's premier football teams over the last 10, 15 years, Alcoa and Bradley.
Yeah, and then, of course, we've got the thing going on at Finley Stadium. Listen, it's football's here, man. It's not like we can't say, hey, it's just around the corner. It's here, Andy. It's here. Like you said, you got professional preseason games. You got high school scrimmage, jamborees, whatever you got. College football is about to kick off on the 23rd. Is the week 0. So, listen, we can sit here and say, oh, it's almost there. No, it's not almost here. It is actually here. So, man, excited about it. We're so pumped for football around here. Just today, we had a little get-together in the conference room, Heartline and some of the guys there. It was really enlightening, because I'm still a rookie on this team. And listen, I'll be the water boy if that's what it takes.
Time out. And when Jim says he's a rookie on this team, that correlates to like when Ichiro came over from Japan to Major League Baseball. He was already like 10 years into his career and an established veteran in Japan, but came over and won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Shelton was here, so he was showing us some stuff about the app and everything, the ESPN app. We've got some really cool things going on there. It's just so fun to be a part of this conglomerate of when it comes to football. I can't imagine what it's like about on a Friday here, when you got 3 stations. All 3 are carrying high school football. I mean, you're going to be on Oldies doing Walker Valley. Bradley's going to be here on ESPN, and Cleveland's going to be on Mix. So it's going to be wall-to-wall football around here,
And
man.
listen, talking about around here in the studio, we got our guy E with us today. Getting a little ahead of myself. We got our guy E here. E, you're going to be doing some producing during the football season, correct?
Yeah, I'll be actually in this exact same room working with Gary Owenby with the Bradley Bears.
So let our listeners know, just kind of let them know what that entails, because first of all, Gary goes on way before I do, way before me and Jacob do.
An hour early,
and he covers some awesome content.
He does.
We'll listen to Gary and hear what's going on. Listen, he puts a lot of time into what he does.
He does. He's been doing it for a long time.
He sure has. So what does that entail for you, just so our listeners can kind of understand?
I mean, I show up and I turn Gary on about an hour and a half early before anybody else does. I'm like basically the only one in the studio with Ryan. And Gary will give all the information he can. I mean, he just pulls it out of like a bag just like right next to him. He just keeps giving it. I'm like, holy crap. Like, I'm learning stuff from Gary about high school football and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I just sit here, run commercials, and then Gary, holy crap. I mean, he screams a lot. So, I mean, like,
he gets fired up. You got to turn him down a little bit.
There's volume switches over here. And every single time when Earl was doing it with him too, before, all surgery and everything like that, Earl would just like get fired up over like the smallest things. Like, it's a 5-yard run for a first down. Earl's just yelling. And so, like, I'm having to monitor these slides over here and just turn them down whenever I can. So, yeah, it's really fun. And Gary keeps it entertaining, of course.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And, of course, Gary Ownby, the voice of the Bears. If you're a Bear football fan, be sure tonight, 6 o'clock, head over there to Bear Stadium. Check out Bradley taking on Alcoa. Again, what a awesome preseason matchup there.
Oh, yeah.
In that game. Alcoa is one of the state powerhouses without a doubt, and we've seen what Bradley's been. Last year was a little bit of a challenging year for him.
A lot of injuries last year.
But they got some dudes, man. Let me tell you, they got some dudes over there.
They got dudes that came up that with the program. They've had some key guys transfer in over there. It's going to be fun to watch Bradley football this year, and it's going to be fun to watch Cleveland with the new head coach. What's that going to look like? Walker Valley, they're turning into a very, very formidable football program too. So it is great to be a person here at what I call the family of networks here at WCLE.
Yeah, again, Bradley and Alcoa tonight, 6 o'clock. Tickets $5 over there at Bear Stadium. Season ticket holders get in free. Be sure, if you're just itching high school football, head on over there and check it out. And tomorrow, Friday,
yeah, we got
Walker Valley down at Findlay, correct?
That's right. We got them, and I think I think it's 6:30 is their kickoff.
Yeah, that sounds
and
right.
they're playing. They're going to be playing
Ringgold.
But is it a scrimmage or jamboree? I can't remember.
It's jamboree.
Okay, so it's going to be fun, man. It's like I said, it's exciting. I can't wait to be able to witness all of these new athletes that we've got on all these teams. There's always that unknown entity when you come into a season. Like, everyone can forecast and think, hey, I think I know these guys. You got to watch them. And these little these jamborees and these scrimmages that we have going on, it's a good way to get a feel. And listen, the coaches, they think they know what they got, but until you go up against someone else different, you really have that unknown factor going on there. So it's just going to be a very, very important thing to watch how this Bradley team looks tonight against a really good Alcoa team.
Also, we actually just got this in. There's an event taking place over at Benny Monroe Stadium. This is pretty cool. You might already know about it. Meet the Raiders. Join us as we kick off the start of our season. That's going to take place on August 9th. $5 entry fee. Gates open at 10. There's going to be some flag football going on, some 7U games. Cleveland Middle's playing Knox Catholic at 2 o'clock.
Ooh.
Man, there's a lot happening here. And then Cleveland versus Ooltewah at 6. So that's on August 9th. Meet the players, coaches, cheerleaders, and dance team. There's going to be a bounce house, food truck, concessions, and a DJ. So big-time event over there on August 9th at Benny Monroe Stadium. That sounds like a lot of fun.
That does sound like a lot of fun, man. So, we may have to go check that out, man.
There's no doubt.
That sounds good to me, man.
And that's one thing that's pretty cool. We've seen all 3 local high schools get their youth programs. Walker Valley's is up and running in year 1 this year. And that adds a whole nother dynamic when those little guys can get on the field and play, and the middle school kids can play, and then they all show up and watch the big guys play on Friday night.
You got your feeder schools, which are so important to high schools, and especially if the coaches are all on the same page. And I think that's a way to ensure success. If you got feeder schools that are running the same system as the schools that are going to be playing high school football at. So, yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. Hey, just another tidbit. It has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but we've got an interesting guest coming up in the second segment. Dennis Crawford, he's a historian, and he does the exhibit. He's an exhibit designer at the College Football Hall of Fame. I've been to the College Football Hall of Fame. You haven't.
I haven't been yet.
But I've never listen, I don't know what it's like compared to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I've been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, although it's been a long, long time. I'm just curious. It's been a while since I've been to the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm just curious what what's it like now as it was? I think I went like 10 years ago.
So there used to be one in South Bend as well. There's a College Football Hall of Fame.
It relocated.
Yeah.
I actually went to the first College Football Hall of Fame. You ever heard of Kings Island up in Cincinnati?
Yes.
It was right outside of Kings Island. That's where it was. And then from there, it moved to South Bend, and then from South Bend to Atlanta. So
I think it's found its permanent home in Atlanta too. By the way,
I hope so.
Everyone says, because I've talked to several people that have made the trip and that they go down for all the SEC media days when they're there, and that's kind of part of the deal. They talk about what a great experience it is. So I'm really excited to have Dennis on today to ask him some specific questions about the Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame down there in Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get his take about all the things going on down there. And, I don't know if you know this. I read this. 0.02% of all of the players that have ever played college football have been enshrined into the College Football Hall of Fame. Talk about a hard, Hall of Fame to get into. To think about that, 0.02%.
That's an elite club, is what that is.
Only 1,100 people have ever gone on into the Hall of Fame. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of one stat we've talked about, the Major League Baseball, how if you take every single player that's ever donned a Major League uniform, meaning if it's them showing up, getting called up, playing one game at the end of the season, that they could not fill up Yankee Stadium. It would only be at like 45% capacity.
Isn't that crazy?
So to be even, man, I'm trying to wrap my brain around that right now, because college football history goes back to the 1800s.
1869 to be exact.
Listen, Jim knows it. That's why I said it. I knew he'd detail us right there. But to 0.2%, that's unreal.
0.02%.
Oh, 0.02.
0.02%. It's even smaller than you thought.
That is. And you think about the amount of guys that had good college careers and maybe didn't go on to do a whole lot in the pros. There's some good college players that made College Football Hall of Fame that weren't great professionals.
Yep.
So, and vice versa, we've seen some guys that were pretty good college players, not Hall of Famers, but go on to the pros and become NFL Hall of Famers.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dr. Dennis Crawford from the College Football Hall of Fame. You're listening to ESPN Cleveland. We'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
Hip or knee pain holding you back? There's a new reason to feel hopeful. Dr. Andrew Carlone is now part of the team at Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics in Cleveland. He brings advanced training in total hip and knee replacement, including minimally invasive techniques that get you back on your feet faster. Let Cleveland's orthopedic experts help you live your best life. Call 423-624-2696 or go to sportmed.com to book your visit now.
Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. For a quarter of a century, Mix 104.1 has been taking you out to the ball game.
Swanson to first. The Browns are world champions.
Since 2000, Mix 104.1 has been the home of the Atlanta Braves, and we're celebrating by giving away tickets to Atlanta Braves games all summer long. Listen for your chance to call or text to qualify. You can also register at the Mix socials on Facebook and Instagram. Braves 25 is presented by Cleveland Ford. Honest people, honest deals. When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
Do you suffer from unsightly leg veins? Are your legs turning brown or swelling? Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps disturbing your sleep? These symptoms are signs of bad veins. Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Find more information online at milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682 and get rid of those bad veins.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to ESPN in Cleveland. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Hey, Duracell is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians, $22 to $27 an hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one: medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. I'm very, very, very pleased to have an interesting guest with us today. Andy, you know how much I love college football and the history of college football. And I would suggest that only Major League Baseball has a richer history than college football. But we have a college football historian and an exhibit designer from the College Football Hall of Fame, Dr. Dennis Crawford. Hey, Dennis, thanks a lot for coming on with us, man.
Thank you guys for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit, how in the world do you get a job at the College Football Hall of Fame? We are so envious of you being around all that history each and every day.
Yeah,
man.
just go ahead and sign us up. We're ready to come join you.
Oh, well, I'm always looking for volunteers if you guys are okay with that budget. No, it's a traditional American story. You know, it's just preparation, and opportunity meeting. That's what creates luck. So I've always had an interest in history. That's what I got my doctorate in. A lot of focus on sports, mostly football. And then living in Ohio for many, many years, I worked for free on weekends at the Pro Football Hall of Fame and built up my knowledge of museums that way. So when the opportunity came to transfer those skills to the College Football Hall of Fame, I leapt at the chance.
You know, I've been to the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. I actually went to the one when it was up there in Kings Island, right outside of Cincinnati, and I've been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I've never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Have you ever been to the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown?
Yes. Like I said, I'm a major sports nerd, so happy to say I've been to all four of the Halls of Fame, including the basketball one in Springfield and the hockey one in Toronto. Okay,
I was going to ask you about that. So you've been to all of them. So what do you take when you visit those other types of Halls of Fame? What do you take when you got an opportunity to do something there in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame? Do you incorporate some of the things that you think people would enjoy? What's your overall take about how you set up the exhibits for all the fans that come through?
Well, I think that the important thing that most Halls of Fame do that we also pride ourselves on at the College Football Hall of Fame is trying to create an exhibit that will speak to what I like to call the three levels of fans that come in. Because we're going to have the diehards like you two who are willing to come down and work for free for me. So I know that
that's it.
I know that you are going to read every single word, and you're going to try and catch me in a factual error somewhere, and that and I welcome that because that's how I get better. Sometimes even even I'm going to make a mistake. And then there's the fan who's kind of in the middle. They know about college football. They enjoy watching college football, but they don't have to do a deep dive on everything. And then there's invariably the member of the family who got dragged along, who doesn't know if the football is stuffed or inflated. And I want to make sure that they have something of interest to them as well. So if you can kind of hit all three of those in an exhibit, then you've done a really good job. And I think that the Hall of Fame has a history of doing that. I'm following in the steps of a legend in the field. His name's Kent Stevens, who's been with the Hall of Fame since it was in Kings Island. And so just learning from him and trying to pattern my exhibits after what he did, I think we have a lot of interesting topics to offer to a fan.
Once again, we're joined by Dr. Dennis Crawford. He's an exhibit designer and a college football historian. And when it comes to the College Football Hall of Fame, I've heard so many good things. I've not been able to experience it personally yet, but about how many interactive things you can do there at the College Football Hall of Fame. If you could, let our listeners know what some of those things are, just to kind of get the interest spiked a little bit.
Yeah, well, we're coming up just on about our 1-year anniversary of a multi-million-dollar upgrade to many of our exhibits, featuring AI, in which you will come in and you register your favorite school and answer a series of questions. And then as you go through the museum, you will be transported into that experience. So I'm assuming you guys are big Tennessee fans, so you put down that you've always loved Tennessee. And
hey, let's pump the brakes for a second.
Okay.
Now, I'll say this. We carry the Tennessee Volunteers and the Georgia Bulldogs here at our station, but specifically, Jim and I'm a Notre Dame fan, and Jim's an Ohio State Buckeye fan.
Well, see, that's so odd to me, because when ESPN Cleveland reached out, I assumed it was my hometown of Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, well, we'll say Ohio State. So when you walk in, everywhere you go, we'll make it look as though you're an Ohio State player, an Ohio State super fan across decades, an Ohio State head coach. So you're going to get that experience of seeing yourself in the action throughout the museum. And then also you're still going to have the interactive parts that are a little bit old school, such as coming in and sitting at the ESPN game day desk and filming a segment with Desmond Howard and Reese Davis. So there's a lot of great things interactively throughout the museum.
By the way, I just ruined that for all our Tennessee fans.
Tennessee's got a rich history. I'm sure it's just as good as any other school out there. Hey, let me ask you: do you personally, and Dennis, now, as a fan, as I say, you're walking through as a patron, do you have a favorite section of the Hall of Fame that you particularly like better than anything else?
Oh, I always have to make that, the diplomatic joke of that's like asking me which one of my children are my favorite. But I think the two that I'm really loving right now is our military and football exhibit, which we updated because we had something that told people about the Army, Navy, Air Force, but I wanted people to know that there were two other service academies out there that have played football for almost 100 years, and that's the Coast Guard Academy and the Merchant Marine Academy. I wanted people to know that military football also includes schools such as Virginia Tech and Texas A&M and the Citadel, Virginia Military Institute. So we brought them under the fold. And then I thought it was also important to tell people about those college football players who served this country, some of whom gave the ultimate measure of their devotion, such as Pat Tillman, who gave his life during Operation Enduring Freedom. Or people such as Tom Harmon, who survived having his plane taken down twice during the Second World War. So we have a lot of fascinating stories about either players who went through military academies or some of your favorite names from the past who served in the military, and maybe you didn't really know that.
And let me ask you this. I know you've got a lot of memorabilia and stuff like that you set out. What's in the bowels of the College Football Hall of Fame? Things that are in storage that are not on display. I can only imagine the things that you guys have, I guess, access to.
Well, we do try to put the best stuff out on exhibit. Now, I know neither one of you are Tennessee fans, but I know something that would fascinate a lot of people is we have Bobby Dodd's playing jersey from his time at Tennessee, because he's one of 4 members of the College Football Hall of Fame to be in twice, once as a player,
And
once
a coach.
as a coach.
Yep.
But as far as what's in the back, we have game programs dating back to the 19th century. We have equipment such as very thin shoulder pads that go back to the turn of the previous century, old uniforms. I like to call them the onesies, where it was those old woolen heavy uniforms that you had the button up underneath
the crotch. That's right.
Athletic support.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's drive time. I was trying to be nice, but yeah.
It is what it is, man.
So we have some of those fascinating pieces in the archive that we take great pride in preserving for posterity.
Once again, we're joined by Dr. Dennis Crawford of the College Football Hall of Fame, historian, exhibit designer. And so when it comes to the memorabilia and the things that you guys have, what is the most common way you guys obtain that stuff? Is it through donations? Is it through going out and seeking it?
It's a combination. We do often have individuals contact us saying that, and usually it's a sad situation. A beloved member of the family passed away, and they looked in their attic, and it's like, I have this jersey. And while we don't tell them what it's worth, that's not a business we want to be in, is doing appraisals. We can tell them whether or not if we feel it's historically significant enough, we would love for them to donate it to us. What we actually do is we're about to really crank up with the regular season coming is, just like you, we sit down on the couch and we watch as much college football as possible. And the next day I read everything I can get my hand on. And if there was a fascinating story or a record broke in, I just reach out. My inner 13-year-old who used to write to people for autographs. Now I'm writing to them asking if they would consider donating something from that game. Last year, for example, the very first game of the season, Ashton Genty of Boise State had a dominant performance down against Georgia Southern, and reached out and asked them, would you be willing to let us have a uniform from that game? And shockingly, they said yes. So before anybody really knew about Ashton Genty's Heisman candidacy, we had a Boise State game-worn Ashton Genty jersey on display for everybody to look at. So that's part of the fun. But it is getting a little bit more difficult now with NIL. Players tend to actually now own those pieces of property, so it's a little harder to get them from schools, but we'll continue to try our best because we want people to appreciate the past, but we're also about celebrating and honoring the game currently.
You brought up Ashton Genty, and he came fairly close to breaking Barry Sanders' all-time single-season rushing record. Now, the thing is, Barry Sanders, when he did it in 1988, they did not include bowl stats, and he ran for 222 yards in the Holiday Bowl that season. And they changed that rule, I think it was 2002. They started including bowl stats. Has there ever been any type of, discussion of retroactively going back and adding bowl stats to the players prior to 2002? That would be a humongous undertaking. But, it is different because nowadays the bowl stats count. Prior to 2002, they didn't.
Well, that would go up a little bit above my pay grade, is retroactively doing that. I know people have retroactively awarded national championships for the years prior to the institution of the AP poll. And I know there was somebody who had an experiment on who would have won the Heisman Trophy had the Heisman Trophy been instituted in 1869. So there's somebody out there who would do that. Now, whether the NCAA or the National Football Foundation or any of the other governing bodies would accept that, that's a much bigger committee than just me. It would be akin to when Major League Baseball incorporated Negro League stats. And
that's right.
That was that was a multi-year effort that involved many organizations, and then MLB finally saying, yes, we will count these going forward.
Hey, Dennis, last thing I got for you. First of all, I want to thank you for coming on with us today, but I want to clarify this. You started down the path of Tennessee, and I ruined it for everybody. I told you that we're fighting Irish and Buckeye fans. So
I'll help you save it here at the end.
Okay, perfect. So to cater to our Tennessee fans for just a second, if you could just elaborate on some of the volunteer history you guys have down there at the Hall of Fame.
Well, actually, I'll get started with the promo. I promised marketing I would say this, is that our Football Fest is coming up on Saturday, August 23rd. Our partners and friends at the Peach Bowl will cover admission that day. And so if you come down to Atlanta that day, you'll be able to get into the Hall of Fame for free.
How about that?
One of the things you will see is a locker dedicated to John Henderson, who is the latest volunteer.
Big John Henderson.
Enshrined into the College Football Hall of Fame. So we will have material from his playing career. Mr. Henderson himself has personally sent some of that in, so we're very appreciative of that, because that's something we do every year, is we create the ultimate locker room. So the class of 2025, every one of those 22 members will have something in there, including Mr. Henderson, including some of the nemesis of the volunteers, such as Nick Saban is going to have a locker. He's coming in this year. Urban Meyer is coming in this year.
Yep.
Michael Vick, Michael Strahan. There's a lot of fantastic people coming into the Hall of Fame from all levels, because Blake Elliott from St. John's up in Minnesota, who set all sorts of records at the D3 level, he's being enshrined this year. So if you're a fan of any level of college football, you will find something that speaks to you at the College Football Hall of Fame, including a lot of things for the volunteers and their proud history.
Absolutely, and we invite everyone. Of course, a lot of Tennessee fans will be going down to Atlanta to watch them play Syracuse to open the season. So, Dennis, what's the best way? What is the best way that people can buy tickets to go to the Hall of Fame?
Well, we have a box office. You can buy them as you arrive. If you were one of the people who like to do things in advance, you could always go to cfbhall.com and get tickets that way.
Well, Dennis, I tell you what, the next time I come there, I'm going to personally ask for you, because I want to meet you, man. I'm going to try my best to find a way I can entice you to retire, and I can take over your position, man, because I'm very envious of you, brother.
Jim's want to get paid now.
Dennis, thanks a lot for joining us today, man.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Anytime you guys want to talk, let me know.
Okay, we will. Dennis Crawford, Dr. Dennis Crawford, I should say, historian at the College Football Hall of Fame. He's he's an exhibit designer as well. So that is really cool, the AI thing. I did not know they were doing that. So, I mean,
that is neat.
That's going to be something to do, because they did not do that the last time I was there.
Yeah, and I ruined it. I ruined it for everybody. He said, listen, you're a Tennessee fan. I said, whoa, hold up a second. But no, honestly, like, I can imagine being a Tennessee fan, going down there, putting in the information for the AI, like you're walking into Neyland Stadium. Like, what an amazing experience that the College Football Hall of Fame is offering for fans of the sport like us that are diehards. And even as he said, like, the people that are being drugged there by their husbands or in some cases by their wives get to show up, and they have something that they can do, that they can say, hey, they couldn't tell you a word about college football history, but they could say, hey, I got to kick a field goal. That was a lot of fun.
That's right. You get to do that. That's really cool. They have, and I didn't even ask him about that wall with the helmet wall. Of course, the way you got teams changing helmets all the time. I can't imagine that would be something to. I guess they update it every
I would say that whoever does that, and what Jim's referring to, there's a wall at the College Football Hall of Fame that has
700 helmets.
Yeah, has every single college football, active college football helmet.
Division 1, 2, and 3.
I would imagine that the same people do the one at Mercedes-Benz Stadium of all the high school football helmets in the state of Georgia.
And the way, but speaking of helmets, all right, I'm a little pet peeve here, okay? Sitting in here in their studio, to my left, I've got a Cleveland High School football Raider helmet. To my right, I've got a Walker Valley football helmet. I don't see a Bradley Central football helmet in the studio where Bradley Bear football originates. We've got to take care of that. Something's got to be done.
Listen, that's
yours truly's going to work on that.
That's almost like the construction worker, the Red Sox fan who buried his David Ortiz jersey in the concrete of the new Yankee Stadium.
I heard about that. Some people say that's a myth. It's kind of like Jimmy Hoffa buried in the end zone of old Giant Stadium.
They actually found it. They dug up the concrete. He told them where it was, and they found.
Wouldn't that compromise integrity?
They found the David Ortiz jersey in the concrete Yankee Stadium. It was a real thing. So it's almost like the goat at Wrigley Field, the Cubs. The curse.
That is hilarious. But, I did not know that. I remember the rumor and hearing about it. But I didn't know they actually dug it out.
Yeah. So we definitely need to get a Bradley Bear helmet in here, and they got a new look this year. Got the bear paw on the side.
I love it, man.
Pretty slick looking helmet. We definitely need to get in touch with Coach Floyd to make that happen. But yeah, really excited. And this is so coincidental that you bring this up. Maybe you looked at the notes. I don't know. But one thing that we're going to do leading up to football season is a little series we call the Best in College Football series. And day one today is helmets. Who has the best helmet in college football? These are things we've kind of touched on before. We've discussed it before, but we've never really sat down and went through and said, you know what, even though I'm a Vol fan or even though I'm a Bulldog fan, this is my favorite helmet. So we're going to exclude our own helmets. So that's a big deal for me. Being a Notre Dame fan, selfishly, I'm like, dude, we got the cleanest, shiniest looking helmet. So venturing outside of that, Jim, I know I kind of have an idea. You're a classic guy like me. Yeah, you're an old school guy, kind of like how I like things. So I'm curious. You've got the Oregons of the world with all the crazy designs.
Well, they've got so many designs. I don't know which one I'd choose.
Exactly. But then you've got on the other end of the spectrum the Alabamas and the Penn States.
Yep.
So where do you fall in this conversation?
And I'm not saying this because of who you root for. Ever since Notre Dame went to the shiny, brighter gold helmet, I think that's the best looking helmet in all of college football. And I don't make any apologies for it. I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but man, you see that helmet, you instantly know that's Notre Dame because nobody has a gold like theirs. It's unique. It's like I said, a lot of old time Notre Dame fans don't like the brighter gold. I love it. I think it's the best looking helmet in college football, and to me, number two is far behind. I like Michigan's helmets, and I'm an Ohio State guy.
A lot of people I
like the Michigan, winged helmets, if that's what you want to call it.
A lot of people either love them or hate them.
I think they're so cool and traditional. I like LSU too. I love those yellow helmets. I know some people call them. If Notre Dame's gold, then can you call what LSU has gold? It's yellow.
Yeah,
it's yellow.
Some people call it an athletic gold.
Yellow and purple. I think LSU's got great looking helmets too. So I like Auburn. I like the white helmets there with the blue and orange stripes on it with the AU. I think they're classic looking. There's so many I do like. There really are. I know here's a helmet I'm going to throw out there that I know that you're not going to like this. I've always liked USC. I always liked the cardinal color with the Trojan head on it.
Do you know what sets that helmet off for me? That, and as much as I dislike USC, I like the gray face mask on it. Notre Dame has a gray face mask, and so I want to throw this out on air. I'm going to go ahead and do it because I got permission. My buddy Mark Smith, he was in here a couple days ago with us, is the ultimate teammate, man. Because my buddy Mark hooked me up. Been wanting one for a long time. Hooked me up with a Notre Dame actual game-used helmet.
It's the real deal.
Yeah,
man.
Jim's seen it. It is beautiful. And that's one of those things. It's funny because like we've already got it up on the shelf in the living room on display, just itching for kickoff. But my daughters will like walk over to it and like touch it and like they grin. I'm like, yeah, you can put it on.
It's got real gold metal, gold flake in it.
Yeah. So the story is when they redid the dome, the Golden Dome, the admissions building at University of Notre Dame, they take the actual gold flakes off that and they put it into the paint that they paint the helmets with.
I love it.
So I mean, you talk about fully embracing your campus, your atmosphere. That's something that I love. And you had mentioned this too. You talk about simplicity and tradition in helmets. I'm going to throw a helmet out there that I really like, and it's Tennessee's black helmet. The black helmet with the orange tee and the white stripe. I love it.
I'm about to puke over here.
I love that helmet.
Gosh.
Like, honestly, for whatever the reason.
My gosh.
But it keeps the simplicity. All you're doing is just switching the white to black. And I think that is a good-looking helmet. It is one of my favorite. Now, if you're asking me, like, when I think of Tennessee, what do I think of? I think of the orange power tee on the white helmet with the white face mask.
I'm not going to select a retro or a night out thing or white out thing.
That's why I like it, because they kept the simplicity of it. Now, so this is one I'm going to venture out a little bit, talking helmets here on the drive, college football specifically, and This is a team you mentioned not being a fan of your favorite fan of the team that's your favorite helmet. It's kind of the same with me, but the Texas Longhorns, that historic, and it's not the orange is a little off.
The burnt orange.
Yeah, it's a little off. It's not even.
The helmet sticker is darker than the jerseys. Yes. Which is fine with me.
And I like that. Just like some of you remember the New York Football Giants at one point had like a dark navy blue looking helmet with their royal blue jerseys.
Royal blue jerseys, yeah. Look great, though.
And for whatever the reason, it just works. It goes with it. And Texas Longhorns have such a cool helmet. But the one that I have, and listen, I already hear the chirpers, I know why you're saying that. Has nothing to do with that kinfolk of mine over at Cleveland High School. But Florida State's helmets, I think, are one of the absolute, and with the spear on the side, the tomahawks that they get when they make big plays or get achievements. I love just a fully decked out Florida State helmet. It makes me think of Derek Brooks, man.
You know, one helmet that a lot of people, and they didn't like the team, but the University of Miami, the U, I think it's so cool because why would you put a U on a school that name's Miami? But it works for them. I love it.
The Miami School of Reading and Writing down there.
Yeah, I love it. What about Nebraska's that little? It's a plain looking inn. It looks like something you've just like drew on by hand. But I love the traditional schools, and they keep their helmet. If you look at Alabama, it doesn't matter if it's 1962, 1982, 2002, 2022. The Alabama helmet looks the same. They've always got the gray face mask, the numbers on the side of the helmet. It's perfect.
The cool thing about that helmet, it needs no logo. You know whose it is.
That's exactly right. And that's what I love. I love schools that you don't have to see a logo to know who it is. You're like, oh, that's Notre Dame. Oh, that's Michigan. I just love it. I love the traditional schools, though.
Before we go to break, shout out Rex Dockery. Memphis's helmets are pretty cool.
Yep.
The current Memphis is a little bit of a knockoff of the Cincinnati Bengals, but it is a good-looking helmet.
It is. And I don't know, do you know how they came up with the gray and blue in their uniforms?
I have a feeling I'm about to find out.
The gray represents the Confederacy. The blue represents the Union.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how they came up
really
with school
neat.
Colors. Isn't that cool? Combine the two, right?
Hey, we're back in school. Welcome to class here on the Drive, ESPN Cleveland with Dr. Gum in the building. Absolutely. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more football. Also going to talk Atlanta Braves. A lot going on down there in Atlanta. All right here on the Drive, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
For a quarter of a century, Mix 104.1 has been taking you out to the ball game.
Swanson to first. The Browns are world champions.
Since 2000, Mix 104.1 has been the home of the Atlanta Braves, and we're celebrating by giving away tickets to Atlanta Braves games all summer long. Listen for your chance to call or text to qualify. You can also register at the Mix socials on Facebook and Instagram. Braves 25 is presented by Cleveland Ford. Honest people, honest deals. ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Need a new shop, garage, or other unique space? Explore post-frame building kits from Best Buy Metals. Best Buy Metals kits utilize steel trusses for the ultimate in strength and durability. When you need it to last, call Best Buy Metals. Stop by or visit bestbuymetalroof.com for your custom structure.
Rock City and Ruby Falls are fun, but have you been down the Ocoee, camped at Harrison Bay, or on top of Fort Mountain? We are blessed with beautiful adventures all around us. And Honda Cleveland has the Honda to take you there. Hurry in for $5,000 off your choice of 25 Accord or CR-V Hybrid. $5,000 off. Or choose 2.99% financing on Accord and CR-V Hybrid. Either way, you'll see why KBB.com has named Honda America's best value brand. You can saddle up a new Ridgeline pickup too with financing as low as 0.99% for 60 months, and that'll save you hundreds in financing. Or if you need service, parts, and tires, at Honda Cleveland you can get the work done now and pay over time with up to 3 months interest-free, with no hard credit check and a 90% approval rate. You've got some exploring to do, and we've got your ticket to ride. Honda Cleveland, your car, your way, every day. I-75 exit 20, 1 mile east. Hope to see you soon.
Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Visit milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. When it comes to Mayfield Dairy Ice Cream, you'll never have a boring bite. Their limited edition ice creams include cherry chocolate chip and banana pudding, inspired by traditional Southern recipes and seasonal favorites. Pick some up today at your local grocery store. Learn more at MayfieldDairy.com. Of course, Mayfield Dairy, proud to support all our coverage of the Atlanta Braves here on ESPN Cleveland, and unfortunately, the Braves just got swept.
Well, they got beat by a really good team. I mean Milwaukee. They've got everything right now, man. They've got the pitching, they've got the hitting, they play good defense. I'm going to stick with the Cubs as being my pick, but right now, nobody's hotter than the Milwaukee Brewers.
And when you have good, healthy pitching, which the Brewers have, you're in the mix. You've got an opportunity to go far.
Hitting, man.
Absolutely, and they don't leave guys stranded.
No, they don't, man.
The biggest difference that I noticed in this series were the Brewers were getting guys on base, and they were finding ways to get them across home plate. The Braves have not been able to do that all year, and, of course, it was more the same last night. Another one-run loss, 5-4. Oh, man, Spencer Strider. Listen, Spencer Strider is usually so smooth, he can get a Spanish girl to French kiss on the first date. He was not so much so last night. Not so smooth last night.
No, he got.
You liked that one, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah, he got hit pretty hard early in that game. But, I mean, it is. Listen, I believe this. I believe that, next year he'll be more what we're used to seeing. He's still not 100%. He's not throwing with the velocity. And it does take a good 12 months after you've come back to reach that pretend where you was at one time. So I believe what we see next April will be more reminiscent of what we're used to seeing out of Spencer Strider.
I think you're exactly right from the stances. What he's doing at this point this year is just further preparation for next year. Last night only went 4 2/3, allowed 11 hits, which is a career high. Mm-hmm. And just very un-Spencer Strider-like. But you see some sparks. You see some moments where, that's Spencer Strider. So the faith that he's going to come back and be the guy he was a year ago, 2 years ago, Braves fans, we're looking for stuff to hold on to right now. That's something that we're really grasping at, because for this team to be what they're capable of in 2026, Spencer Strider is going to have to be a huge part of that. The Brewers 45-15 in their last 60 games. That's the best 60-game stretch in franchise history for the Milwaukee Brewers.
I mean, that is 45-15. That's ridiculous.
That's doing work.
That's big time doing work, man. I knew they were hot. I did not know it was that hot. That's 30 games over 500 in 60 games.
That's unheard of.
That is unheard of.
Yeah,
man.
Jurickson Profar had a 2-run home run in the 6th to make the score 5-3 last night, and Money Mike had a solo shot in the 9th to cut the Brew Crew lead to 1, but the eventual final held right there 5-4 Brew Crew. And listen, there is some stuff to look forward to. Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna was on the field today taking batting practice. He's also been fielding the baseball, which is very, very good news to know that they've kind of backed off the extreme worry around that Achilles/calf injury.
You can't risk that, man. The last thing you want is for him to come back early and rupture that darn Achilles, man, because then you're talking about another 12 months out, and that you don't want that. So they've got to baby him for right now.
Yeah, some other big news for the Braves. Grant Holmes decides to go the rehab route instead of undergoing Tommy John surgery.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
I'm right there with you.
That's his decision. I'm sure he's had a lot of doctors give him advice one way or the other, and then ultimately it's on him to make that call. But you know what? Hopefully it'll all work out for him.
Yeah, also Chris Sale, close to returning from his broken ribs, will throw a live BP session today. So a lot of positive news as far as the healing and mending going on with that Atlanta Braves roster. Tonight, the Braves kick off a 5-game, 4-day series with the Miami Marlins, who talk about a team that's playing some good baseball right now. Not the best time to run into the Miami Marlins. They're 56-57, third in the NL East, and only 6 games out of a wild card spot. And Saturday, that doubleheader is on there because they're making up a game from April 6th.
Right. And of course the Braves can play spoiler right now. Listen, they've really hurt the Reds. Let's be honest, they took 2 out of 3 from the Reds. The Reds are in the wild card hunt, so they put a hurting on them. The Marlins, the same thing there. They could put a hurting on them. So right now the Braves, they want to play well, but man, they could play spoiler, and that's almost as fun as. Well, not quite. I'm lying through my teeth when I say that's not as fun as being in a pennant race. But you want your team to show that they're playing to win.
Gives you something to shoot for.
And if they beat a team that's contending for a playoff spot, then so be it. But I think it's cool that the Braves are playing the Marlins. And who would have ever thought that the Braves could be hurting the Marlins more than the Marlins could be hurting the Braves? But that's the reality of 2025.
Yeah, Carlos Carrasco back on the bump tonight for the Atlanta Braves. He's 2-2 with a 5.68 ERA. Talk about a guy who could be part of the future for the Atlanta Braves. Going to see him on the mound tonight. First pitch 7:15 on Mix 104.1. And right after our show, pre- and post-game coverage right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
So you're going to be watching the Braves? You're watching preseason football?
I got to be honest, I'm watching the Braves. I'll click over to some football. I'll check it out, see what's going on, but
yeah, I'll be watching football. I just am. I just that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I know that once I start watching it, I'll be going, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? But man, I just love it. I just do. I'm such a big football guy that when I see there's football on a Thursday night, yeah, I'm all about that. So looking forward to it.
What's the Thursday night game? Falcons Lions are tomorrow.
Oh gosh, see, now that you're asking me, keep talking and I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, hey, so I'm glad you're giving me a second here. A couple things I did want to talk about NFL.
Okay, here we go. We got the Bengals and the Eagles. Now, that game is not on the NFL Network, but you got the Raiders and the Seahawks. That game is on the NFL, and you got the Colts and Ravens too. So you got 2 games on
NFL Network. Okay.
Yeah, the Bengals and Eagles are not though.
Gotcha. Yeah. So this is what I was going to say here is some news out of the NFL. They've banned the use of smelling salts and ammonia by NFL staff. They then had to come back and say, because the NFL Players Association said, hold up, wait a minute. and they clarified players can still supply and use their own. And Kittle's one of the guys. He was a big advocate of the smelling salts.
Is that considered what's the word I'm looking for?
A performance-enhancing drug?
Performance-enhancing? I don't know if it's a drug, but it's a performance-enhancing substance. I mean, it gets you alert. I mean, you smell them, right?
Listen, I got to share a quick story with our listeners, and some of you might be laughing because you remember this. Going back to the Bradley Junior High School days, out at football practice down there below the dungeon, we had a little athletic training kit, and we would always sneak over there because they had the little ammonia packets in there, and you have to crack those things open, and we'd walk up to our buddies and like wave it in front of their face, and it would almost knock them on their backside. It was so funny, but probably something we should have been doing in the 7th and 8th grade there, but we were doing it anyway.
Well, you turned out okay.
Boys,
that's debatable, but no,
it's debatable.
I think you turned out okay.
Boys being boys, but yeah, NFL's taking a stance on that. Yeah, hey, what a show today! Having to rush off here, it seems like. But
gosh, I know these shows go by so fast, and once we get into the meat of football season, we're gonna have to just become speed talkers.
That's right. It's gonna be coverage, because we're gonna have all the coverage at high school, college, and NFL football right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. And hey, be sure check out the exclusive home of ESPN Radio in Cleveland and Chattanooga. It's ESPN Cleveland 101.3, and it's never been easier to listen. Download the free ESPN Cleveland 101.3 app from our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com. Jim, listen, Jacob wasn't here today, and we made it without him.
We did, but we're looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. But, hey, by the way, that app, they're doing some more stuff to it. It's getting better and better each and every day, man.
Looking forward to it. Hey, we appreciate everyone joining us for the drive today. Facebook, YouTube, FM. We're probably on AM, too, if I didn't know any better. We're everywhere. Hey, have a great day, everybody.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit Best Buy.